Okay, signals. So I know I mentioned this in the last video and it got actually a bit more interest than I thought I would. So I know some folks have reached out and contacted me. So what I decided to do is just make a video of what the signals are, just to let you see. Because if you're like me, I get a little bit nervous buying some from someone I don't know, and especially things that are used. Because these did come off, except for one actually two brand new things. They did come off my layout. They all were tested. I'll take you through that and kind of show you what they look like. If you're not interested in that, you say, Rob, you're a righteous dude. Go right to the end, and you can see what I'm asking for this stuff. I prefer to sell it as one large lot, but I think I'm going to break it into a BLMA lot and a Details West lot, just in case people don't necessarily want to mix the signals. I get that. However, preference will go to those who'd like to buy the entire lot, but then I will have, prices for, like I said, a Details West and a BLMA lot. So all the signals were tested. Everything works. There are some caveats. Some of the wires are a little bit short just because they had to come off the layout. The one BLMA single head is missing a ladder, which if I find it, I will include it. I'm going to look for it, but I don't know where it is, but I want to be honest about that. So, with that, pop into the video here. You'll see each of the signals. It kind of describes what they are. I mean, I know a lot of you guys know what these are, but I figured just give you a little warm fuzzy that I actually did test them, and you'll see some of the other things you're going to get. I did add some wires to some of them, and I labeled everything. That's what the little blue tape is. It makes it a lot easier when you go to install it. So check it out, and then at the very end we'll have the final prices. Alright, so here's the signal bridge, and what I figured I'd do is I'll show you, just so you're aware, how I tested it. Like I said, everything was tested. What I used is the Logic Rail Technology signal tester, which basically is just a little device with a 9-volt battery and current limiting resistors on it. You can hook it up to either be common anode or common cathode. And again, these are all common anode, which means your supply is common to all the LEDs. If you go, there's a little jumper here you can change. Anyway, so, and then I hooked up, I didn't do this for all of them, but for what I'm going to show you for demonstration purposes I did. Basically I just took the common to here, which is your plus, and then I take each of the wires and touch them just to one of them. But what's kind of nice about this, what you can do, and let me tell you what, let me see if I can dim the lights. Okay, just so you can see it better. There's a switch on here. So obviously right now there is the right hand bottom head, green, yellow, red. So it's kind of fun. So I did this for all of them. Again, yellow and green. Then what I also did, because it seems there's no rhyme or reason to the way these cables came out, I labeled them, which each wire is. I thought there'd be some consistency, that this would be all of these two would be the left and the back would be the middle. No. Out of the front one is the middle top and the left bottom. Don't ask me why. And then on the back is the middle bottom and the left top. So why BLMA did it like that, I have no idea. Now on this side, it's both the right hand side, and I labeled the right top. The other one obviously is the only other one left over, and that's the other one, that's the bottom one. So that's what I did. So for every single thing you're going to see, I did test them to verify all the LEDs work. So whenever everything leaves here, it definitely was working. So, and again, thank you to New York Central 3502 for helping support the effort here. So that's, just so you know, that's how I tested it. And where it made sense, I labeled it. I just used some blue painter's tape. It should come off fairly easy. I didn't want to go crazy. Unfortunately, it's not real easy to label the ends of these darn wires. Although there's definitely a red wire. I don't know that you can see it. Maybe there against the locomotive. Okay, that's the common. And then the lighter colors are the 3 LED colors. Man, I try with a Sharpie here and there. It's just really hard to mark them. So you're probably going to want to do something similar when you get them to find out exactly what's what and come up with some way to mark it. Because trust me, you get all these wires under the layout and you're going underneath, crawling around trying to hook them up. Yeah, it's not fun. And they're fine little wires, but anyway. All right, so that's how they're tested, and everything I did will be tested, and so that's how that was done. And let's take a look at some other signals. These are the cantilevers. There are 4 of these, all the same. I'm calling these left hand. I'm not, because I guess you call it because of the mass on the right, but when you look at it, the signals, the mass is on the right, signals to the left. I don't know what they call this one. I'm sure they call it something, but they're all the same. They're all like this. Again, they all work. LEDs all work. I did label 3 of the 4 because it gets to be a mess down there. So on 3 of the 4, I put, whether it's the top right, top left, in this case, bottom left. So the other one is the bottom right, obviously, the one that's not labeled. Just one less thing you got to take the tape off of. But it shouldn't be a big issue. It's that painter's tape. So at least they're labeled for you. So again, then there's 4 of these, all the same. Alright, these are the dual head BLMA signals. Again, just to show you kind of what they look like. Again, I'm testing them. I did mark the wires for the top head. The other one's obviously the bottom. And I have one here that is, I'm calling it a right, because the ladder's to the right. And then the other one is the ladder's to the left. So there's 1 each of those. LEDs all work. I'm just testing them all. And just for those who might be curious, what I'll do is I'll kind of take that light away. I know it's a little bit dark, but that's the red, yellow, green. Okay, so those are again, there's 1 each of those. Everything's tested. And again, be careful with the wires. So the common wire depends on how it was when it came out. Maybe a little bit shorter than the other wires, and the red, green, and yellow actual leads. The red, it's all red, so you should be able to pick it out. It's the common wire. Just note that it may be a little bit shorter on some of these. And here's an example of the single head signals. Again, you got the let me again, just so you can see what the LEDs look like. I don't know how well it's going to show up on the actual video. That is the red, yellow, green. Okay. Now for these, there should be 2. Again, I'm calling left hand because the ladder is there on the left. So there's 2 of those. Single head lefts. Again, all the LEDs do work. And then there's 2 I call ladder to the right. But one of them, this one's good, but one of the ones with the ladder to the right is missing the ladder. I don't know where it is. If I come across it, I will include it. I thought I saw it somewhere, but I don't know. I cleaned up and now I can't find anything. So, but there are 4 of these. 2 ladders right, 2 ladders left. And finally, I also have one brand new, still sealed in the original BLMA factory packaging, the 4039, just a pair of the signal heads. I kind of bought these not knowing how long BLMA was going to be around, which might have been prudent, just in case I ever had to fix a signal, or if I wanted to add another one to the signal bridge or something like that. But there's pack, brand new, still sealed in the blister pack here. Never opened. Of the just a pair of signal heads as well. Okay, also have 3 of these Details West GRS 3-color Type Ds. One, obviously, brand new, never opened, still in the package. So there's the product information that focuses on that. Like I say, got one here that's brandy new in the packaging, and that's the 2-head signal. What they look like is like it is. These are nice signals, but just a couple little notes on these. The the way they're wired, well, they call them common anode, but they're really not, because they're whatever you want. Because what they do is they bring down all the leads. They don't bring down a common lead. They bring down, for every LED, you have 2 leads. So it's probably going to be hard to see the spider web here, but so you have to go through, and again I marked the top head on each of them, and each LED, the red, green, yellow, has got 2 leads, the anode and the cathode. So you could wire this however you want. So it's a bit of a hassle. This one signal here, you can see, you got 246, 246. So you got 12 wires coming off this signal, and they're really tiny. They're like human hair. It's probably not going to show up on the video. I don't know what I could do to try to make that to show you, but it does work. I did test it. It's going to be a little bit of a swear fest when you go to install it. I'm just being honest with you, because you have to deal with all those wires. Now, what I did on one of them, and I don't remember why I didn't do it on both, but what I did was I connected all the 3, actually the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In my case, the anodes all together into one wire, and they brought that down as a common. And then I added heavier wire to the other 3 leads, and the wires, I color coded them. So you can see I have green, yellow, red for the top and bottom head. So this signal is pretty simple to do. You just put it in, connect your common, whatever voltage you're using, and then in your signal lines you have to have your resistors or depends how you wire them, and just the way I wire them, these are going to go to CMRI inputs. And that's what the signals look like. Again, they're nice. Let me just kind of, again, go dock and slowly just try to see if you can see the colors. That's red, yellow, and the green. So they all work. I did verify that. And the brand new one, I assume works, but that, I can't make any guarantees. I have never had it out of the package. And these are nicely done. They are nice signals. The way they mount is also a little bit different, because you're looking at this and say, well, how do you mount those huge wires through the normally tiny hole? What they do is they actually have, it's hard to do with one hand. If you can see, there's a little sub base that comes out, that little square plastic piece that fits on here, and I put that on first before I did all this. And then on the layout, I want to be careful with these. Okay, there is a larger plastic piece, so that goes down. I drilled a larger hole here, and then the signal itself, you can feed the wires through, and it mounts. This little smaller plastic one goes inside that opening there. So that's just how they mount. And then you can cover it with scenery, and you'll never even notice that it's there. But just FYI, it's a little bit different how these mount and how the wiring is brought down. But one of them is pretty much made fairly easy. All 6 common leads are together. In my case, all the anodes are together. Individual ones color coded for the top and bottom head. The other one, unfortunately, is still a spider's nest of wires. Although I did label the top head, but I have no idea how to label these without risking it, so I'm not going to do it. I mean, if I'm going to sell these, I'm going to try to make them as undamaged as possible. And if I try to go in here and do any more taping or stuff, it's just not gonna work. So I have that one, and then I'll just pause here real quick, and I also have a Details West single head signal of the same type. Okay, here's the single head Details West signal. Similar, although notice, and I don't know if I forgot something or that's the way it is, but just so you see what you're going to get. See how that base is a little bit different? Looks kind of unusual. And also this little, what they call it, the trap door, I had to cut it. It might not show up. See that little line there? I had to cut it because I forgot to put that on. Because on this one I also wired in a larger lead. So I cut that so I could very carefully put it over these real thin wires and get it up on there. My fault. Oops. But again, I wire these into a larger lead with black as the common. This is only one signal, so it's a little bit easier. And then green, yellow, red, larger wires to bring them down to connect. So that's what that signal looks like. Again, it's got the other piece as well. And green, yellow, red looks very similar to the other one. I'm not sure I can do anything to do all this with one hand without really making a mess of it. I don't want to break them because they're nice signals and they're alright. I'm not going to try it, but trust me, they work. Alright, so those are the Details West. Again, 3 of these and 1 of the single head. Okay. Alright, so there you go. There's the signals, and then here's what I'm looking for the costs. Like I said, I have a BLMA lot, a Details West lot, and then a total overall lot. So for the BLMA signals, you can see what we're asking for there per signal. So the BLMA lot works out to $395. And all of these are going to be plus whatever the exact shipping is to you. I don't really think the shipping will be all that much. It's certainly not going to be a heavy package. These are not heavy. And weight is what really drives shipping. And then the Details West lot. Okay, that's $120. And if you want both, I think I knock off like $15, something like that. So it's $500 rounded, nice round number for both. Yeah, a lot of money, but you're getting a lot of signals. And just FYI, all this money, this is not going to improve my yacht or to my new Porsche. This is all going to be rolled right into new signals that I'm buying for the layout. So, in fact, this won't even cover anywhere near the cost for the new signals, which I'm going to get from Integrated Signal Systems. Some additional Tomar signals and some custom-built Pensy position lights. So, hopefully those prices are reasonable. They look pretty good to me. I took, at least, 75% of the retail or cheapest price I could find. You will find some of these out there. I mean, these are available, but you may have to buy, 1 here, pay shipping, get 2 here, pay shipping. So I try to make it a reasonable lot, and if you buy the whole thing, you get, 1 shipping charge, and you get the whole lot. So that's that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop up my email address, not the one that's here, excuse me, on the channel, but the one that's a little bit easier for me to use, and shoot me an email if you're interested. Now again, preference will go to those who want to buy the entire $500 lot. If no one does, and then we'll get into the break into the two different lots, again, that'll be preference for the BLMA and the Details West. If no one wants that, then we'll go into individual signals, which I really prefer not to do. But what we'll do is, I don't know how to do this fairly, to be honest with you. So, the first email that comes in, if they want, 1 signal, well, okay. Then if the next email comes in, they want the whole lot. Well, I'm telling you, I'm going to give preference to people that want the whole lot. So, kind of first come, first served. I know that may not be great for everyone. Not everyone's going to see the video at the same time, but I don't know how else to do it. And I don't want to agonize over this forever. So, you'll see the email address to utilize. Shoot me an email with your desires. If you want to calculate roughly what the postage will be, I'll put my zip code down there. It's 16415. I don't know how. I mean, this is probably going to weigh a pound or so if you buy everything. And the box might be like a 12 by 10 by 8. You know, I don't know. I'm going to pack it up real carefully. You know, I don't have the blister packs for these, except for the ones that are still brand new. So, you know, it's going to be nice and covered in bubble wrap and packed as carefully as I can to get it out to you. So let me know. And then, again, comments on this video, if you're free to comment if you want, but if it's something snarky like, you know, you're an idiot, your price is too high, I'm just going to delete it. And then when this is all done, I'll delete the video because it really doesn't belong on the channel. Again, I hesitated to do this. I don't like to use the channel, you know, to hawk items and that kind of stuff. It's not what I'm doing. It's to show you guys my model railroad. But since there was interest, these are kind of, you know, unique items, and there was an opportunity to just kind of show you guys what you're getting. So, all right, so that's that. So again, let me know how it goes, and then once these all sell, like I said, I'll keep comments up. If someone does buy the whole lot, I'll put a comment up there so you know. Again, it's the best way I could think to do it to make it at least somewhat fair. I know someone's going to say I was traveling and I didn't see the video. I apologize, but I don't know how else to do it. So there you go. So that's that. So we'll see how it goes, and hopefully the signals find a nice new home, and I can defray some of the cost on all the new signals I'm buying. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.